Are you wondering what the red flags of PSVR is?
Or kill the Justice League?
Let's tell you.
Welcome to the Nerd News Podcast, starring Tyson Cox and Tyler Waltz.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Nerd News. It's been a minute. We were gone for about 2 weeks. We had a bunch of stuff going on, kind of lost track of some time, missed out on some Sundays when we record.
Yeah.
But we are back, and I believe better than ever.
Better than ever.
We got a lot going on. We're working on some more live shows, trying to get out into the world more. We've got some new content ideas. We're kind of reining it back on the podcast episodes. I think we're going back to 1 day a week.
Yep.
But we will be filling that with different, like more diverse content. So stay tuned for that. In the next couple weeks, we should be rolling that out. How have you been, Tyson? It's been a couple weeks.
Been good, been busy. Moved into a house.
Which is exciting.
It is exciting. I don't have to move for at least a year and a half.
Yeah. Right. A year and a half. That's a weird amount of time.
It's, I meant 2 years because I think that's legally like when you don't get pooched on taxes.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. That's exciting stuff that I don't really know.
Is this your first home?
Yes.
Okay, so you can... This is the accountant coming out.
Perfect.
You will be able to mitigate a lot of your taxes because of a special deal that you get for first home buyers.
Okay.
So that would mitigate the short-term tax, but I would still recommend after 2 years.
I would love to not move.
So, yeah.
I did that. I had to do it. My back hurt. That's part of the reason why we were missing a couple of weeks is I was either traveling or moving into a house, so I just did not have time. And I hurt my back.
It's a big process. It is definitely a big process. But today we're talking about a couple of things that we were both excited for and seems like we're both a bit disappointed about. So my thing is VR. I am head over heels about VR. I love it. Unfortunately, can't afford it yet, but I've been looking into it like mad for when eventually, hopefully, I or we can get VR.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about the PSVR.
Because, you were talking about that for a couple of weeks before it came out.
Yeah. So I was excited for it. I didn't know much about VR going in. I just know that I have a PlayStation 5, not necessarily the best PC. So I was looking into PSVR because, hey, I could just get that. There seems to be some red flags because Oculus is out there now with Meta and Facebook, which I'm always going to be wishy-washy on that.
Wow.
Yeah, right.
They're always heroes. They've always done good in the world.
Never done a bad thing. I'm glad that the company never got started by like screwing somebody over.
Yeah,
That's the biggest thing for me.
They've never had any qualms with overseas governments.
Yeah, right. So the Oculus is more user-friendly. If you're buying it on its own with its own memory and just games that you can get like through Facebook and stuff, it might not be worth it.
Farmville?
Yeah. Oh, man, VR Farmville. Oof, talk about losing your life to a game.
Ants going crazy out there.
But if you want to get Steam and stuff like that, it is compatible with Steam VR and all that other stuff. You can get those games. You just have to have a PC that can run it. Which is about where I am lacking. I need to make some PC upgrades on top of getting the VR.
Yeah.
But there's a lot more benefits to it. So the red flags that I've been seeing with PSVR is kind of just what you can do with it. Right? Have you ever looked into VR or anything like that?
No, I wore a VR headset one time at my buddy's house, and I was like, "This is cool." And previously, I'd seen a bunch of videos of like grandparents putting it on and like, falling forward and stuff. And I was like, "No way, that would ever happen to me." I'm playing, and I get so wrapped up into it. He's like, Tyson, stop!" Because I was about to walk into his TV.
That's funny. The walking thing gets you.
Yeah.
I'm always curious which of those videos are faked. Like, I think the grandparents and stuff are legitimately
Yeah, their bones are too weak to take a dive.
Yeah, right. But I've seen grown men that are playing like the walk the plank game that just jump. There's no way your brain is taken over enough to where you think you can jump and hit water.
I don't know.
There's no way.
I've met people that I'm like, you are easily fooled.
But
like, it's the same kind of guys that are like, man, we did it when their football team wins. I'm like, we?
Yeah. No, that's always funny. But so the PlayStation VR, what you can break it down to is what you have and what you want, right? So almost everything that's on the PSVR is also available for Oculus, with the exception of, at the moment, which I'm sure their catalog will expand, I believe 3 or like 2.5 games. I know that sounds weird.
They're like exclusives to the PSVR?
Yeah, Horizons. Or Horizon for West.
Horizon Forbidden West?
Forbidden West, that's it. There's a spin-off game for Horizons that's a VR game. And then Resident Evil Village.
Which I think that's why you wanted it real bad, right?
That's pretty much why I wanted it, was Resident Evil Village. And they announced for Resident Evil 4's remake, it will get a VR update for free for PlayStation VR owners that own Resident Evil 4. That is also going to be a PlayStation exclusive. Is that worth getting a PSVR over an Oculus? In my opinion, no. But if I don't have a computer, absolutely.
Okay,
So
I can see the...
It's this weird balancing game where you're going to be way more limited with PlayStation VR. One of my favorite VR games is Beat Saber.
Yeah.
Incredible game. I would say 80% of the fun comes from being able to go on the internet and download mods.
Yeah.
Can't do that on a PlayStation.
No.
So you're going to have the base songs and then the $30 music packs when they come out. But I could just go on the internet and find modded songs of some of my favorite artists.
That sounds way better. I'd love to be doing a little prof out there.
Way better. Yeah. Way better. It's like Guitar Hero, which isn't really a thing anymore. But
I remember it. I'm old.
Yeah, right. But there's a Clone Hero now, which is a game you can buy and then you can download songs, and it has continued the legacy of Guitar Hero, that as long as you have a Guitar Hero guitar, you can Bluetooth it into your computer and play Guitar Hero and just download songs that people have made.
That's pretty neat.
It's incredible. Yeah. And all the catalogs of all the previous rock bands and Guitar Heroes are like backlogged in it, so you can just go download those. Excellent. Incredible fun.
Side note, I really wish that someone would be like famous now that got started because Rock Band. You know what I mean? Yeah. I was waiting. It came out. I was like, I knew it wasn't going to be me. Yeah. But I was like, somebody.
Guitar, there was no way. Nobody was going to get guitar.
No. Drums, it was actually not far off.
It wasn't, but if you could get the drums, then you at least knew that you could have some rhythm to expand it. So it kind of showed more potential. But yeah, it was wild. And in VR, I think somebody has actually made it to where you can play Clone Hero in VR, where it's like you're standing on a stage performing in front of people and the whole shebang.
That's how I would get caught up and stage dive into a coffee table. I'm finally living my dream.
Right, and just
my back.
But so I think it all comes down to what you're looking for. Because for me, what was the final nail in the coffin for not buying into the PSVR is, as much as I love Resident Evil, the customization of PC VR is what I really want. I want to be able to get the Clone Hero. I want to be able to get Beat Saber with the songs that I want. Sword and Sorcery is a game that is incredibly good. It's like an arena sword fighting game that has mods.
You can be Spider-Man.
Yeah.
With a gun.
Right. So you can mod in all that kind of stuff. So if you have no interest in PC gaming, I think the PlayStation VR will absolutely be worth it.
What's the price point difference?
$550 for PSVR, which is kind of steep.
Yeah. What's Oculus?
Oculus, there's 2 different versions. I don't know what the higher memory one is. I think it's $400 for the lower memory one. Okay. 128 gigs or something like that. And then the higher one is $500 or $550.
Okay.
So Oculus is a bit cheaper. Yeah. But you got to buy a $500 or $900 if it's a scalper PlayStation.
Yeah.
Which isn't as much of a problem anymore, which is great.
They're available now.
But if you're
go to your stores. Check.
Yeah. If you already have a PlayStation, it's $550.
Yeah.
If you don't have a computer, you're talking about a $1,200 computer, a $400 VR. If you've already got a computer, it's cheaper. So I get it. Really just kind of depends on what camp you're falling into now.
Yeah.
Because if you've already got a PC, 100% get the Oculus. You have the customization. You've got way more games. You've got indie stuff. PlayStation, very small catalog. But if you want VR, it's excellent to have if you don't have a computer.
It sounds to me like PC would be the way to go. But I want to, because I don't know, I think eventually you'll be able to get Resident Evil.
Probably. I think eventually at some point somebody would rip it.
So you want a pirate ship?
Yeah. Also, Resident Evil 4, the old school one, not the remake that's coming out, has VR. that is currently on Oculus.
Okay.
So you're still getting a Resident Evil 4. It's the one that I grew up with and loved, which is incredibly fun. I played my buddies. He has a VR. But
yeah, then say you're probably going to borrow someone's.
Yeah. I'm actually borrowing his Oculus to find out if my computer can handle it. Because if I'm close, I might be swinging for a VR soon.
Fair.
But yeah, I think Oculus Quest 3 has been announced, so it'll be coming out soon.
That's the system, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
The Quest is what's Meta and Facebook and stuff like that. So if the specs for that come out, and it's because I think PSVR's quality is slightly higher than the Quest 2, or pretty close.
Okay.
I think your performance for PlayStation VR is going to be higher because it is catered for the system.
Okay.
So,
I see what you're saying.
and the games are going to be made specifically for the PlayStation with that software and hardware in mind. So it's probably going to be more consistent.
Well, here's to quote humanitarian Paris Hilton. Why not just not be poor?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Just quit being poor.
That's what we need to stop doing.
I'm pretty good at it.
Yeah.
It's a shame to quit now, you know?
So my gut tells me you should go for the Oculus if you have the means. If you like VR and have a PlayStation, get the PlayStation one.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds like good information to have.
Yeah. Quality-wise, I think you're better off with a Quest just because of the customization, more options. Generally, Steam, you know how many sales there are. You can get tons of VR games and indie games and stuff like that. But PlayStation VR did release with a pretty good catalog. I mean, it's got the Pavlov. It's got tons of stuff. So I guess it really just depends on convenience to a certain degree.
Yeah.
But do you have any interest in getting a VR at some point?
I do, but I just, with what time?
Yeah, it's a hard decision to make because I wish I could. I could get one for my PlayStation right now, and it's hard for me. I have to logically talk myself down from just buying it. Yeah, I want VR so bad.
Like, I want it too, but I don't have time. So whenever I do have time to sit down, like I was painting my house yesterday, and I sat down and I had like 45 minutes. So I just played ARAMs on League of Legends.
Oh, okay.
Because I had a buddy that was on, and I know how to do it.
Yeah,
that's all I had. I have so many good games that I've not finished because I'm like, I don't know where I'm at.
Oh yeah, my back catalog of unfinished games is wild. Like Dead Space remake, those first 2 chapters. Mwah. I'm sure the rest of
the rest is pretty good.
Yeah. Will I ever be able to finish it? Probably not. For me, it's a lot of just I can sit down and play Fire Emblem for half an hour and get a little bit through a stage.
Yeah.
But yeah, anything else you want to chat about with VR?
With VR, no, I mean, it seems exciting. I'm excited to see where it goes. I know that the world is going to develop it into some sort of horrific monster, but that's what we do.
Yeah. Once VR and AI integrate,
dude,
it's going to be insanity.
I can't wait. Oh my God. Could you imagine? And I know they're already working on using AI generated art pieces and other AI generating things and turning them into assets into games like real fast. So we might actually be a few years away from being like, hey, Mid-Journey game, generate me a dungeon crawl where I have fire magics and lightning magics. And I guess like, all right. And then VR, you're in a...
That would be wild.
Get on it, Bill Gates.
Yeah, right. If you want me in the pod, give me a reason to live in the pod.
Yeah, you want to be a guest on this pod? You fucking get on it. What have you done for me lately?
Well, VR was the only thing that ever made Skyrim seem interesting to me.
I like Skyrim, but like being able to do it in that fashion is like that gives me a little nerd boner.
Yeah,
like
Skyrim is a fine game. I played it when it first came out. I liked it a lot.
Did you ever play like Morrowind and stuff like that?
Yeah, Morrowind's the best. Oh my gosh, Morrowind was the best. Yeah. But Skyrim VR was incredibly fun for the simple fact of I am in the fantasy world. The start to Skyrim and the sheer amount of just random caves and encounters and stuff like this. I think Skyrim just got lost in the weeds for me because
I liked it.
Yeah, I mean it's fun. It was a fun game, but when it comes to retention and holding me, it didn't really do it. But the modding community has kept that game alive.
They are going nuts. I liked the fact that it was just like wander around because that's like what life isn't like. Hey, let me pull out your book and put your marker, your moving marker in your book, your ink book. Like it's
I think it was the overwhelming amount of choice. Like if you have too much choice, you're just like there's just too much.
Yeah, decision paralysis is a real thing.
Yeah,
but
But yeah, I think that's going to end our discussion on VR. My recommendation would be go Oculus if you have the means, and PlayStation if you just want some VR and you don't want to build a computer.
Yeah.
Catch us next time, or part 2 of this episode for
This Week in Nerd.
This Week in Nerd, primarily focusing on Kill the Justice League.
Yeah, Kill the Justice League and some other little bits of information. So rapid fire should be a good time.
We'll see you soon.
Welcome back, everybody, to Nerd News. This is a new segment we call This Week in Nerd. This week, we'll be talking about what happened this week in Nerd.
Yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah, a lot of information all up top.
Don't think it really needed to be explained. I think most people were like, huh.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there was anybody that was like, I have no idea what this could be.
There's some VR jumpers out there that are like, oh, thank God. That's going to be my new favorite. All right, VR jumpers. Yep. All right. Hello. All right. So a lot of things been going on this week in Nerd. I want to go ahead and we're going to move kind of quick, and we'll cover a lot of topics. So Kang, a lot of people in Quantumanium are commenting that there's a huge box office drop. Mm-hmm. Have you seen anything like that?
Yeah, I've seen a lot. Marvel is really, I guess Disney is kind of desperately clinging on to the audience that they have because they're not gaining new audiences.
Yeah. But so what's happening with the box office drop is they were framing it like this is the worst box office in history.
Okay.
Oh, it lost it lost like 64%, like which is down, which is not like,
substantial.
It is, but also most things lose like 40 or 30. Like there's already a huge drop after the first week because that's just how it works.
Yeah, so. I get that. I think the fact that it is a 64% drop off or something like that just means that its staying power is none. Basically, everybody that wanted to see it saw it, and then its shelf life is basically over already.
And that makes sense though because it's Ant-Man. Like very few people grew up being like Ant-Man's my favorite.
Yeah.
That's usually like Captain America's, Wolverine's, so that, and then I mean Paul Rudd is great.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it, but it's because, and this is another reason why the box office drop is happening. I'll just wait a month and it gets on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
I'll see it for free because my buddies let me borrow his thing. Like, they're legitimately exhausting people. So like, why would I spend $35 with, popcorn, Coke, movie ticket, travel, take my whole evening out when I can wait a month and a half?
Yeah. No, I completely agree. I haven't seen it either. I don't really plan on seeing it. I'm relatively anti-Disney. We've discussed this before.
Yeah. I like Paul Rudd and I like Jonathan Majors. So
yeah,
I'm going to see it.
Yeah. I finished Endgame. Loved it. And I think the last Disney thing that I have consumed was
Mickey Mouse's ass.
Yeah, right. Multiverse of Madness.
Mm-hmm.
So when Endgame finished up, I basically said, I'm going to follow the pre-Endgame characters.
Yep.
Because if I'm just being honest, none of the new characters even remotely interest me. And if they did, I would probably go more the comic route because I don't like what Disney's doing with the movies.
Yeah.
Like they're just like rehashed, campy, jokey stories that are all just carbon copies of each other, just with the hero that you like. So if I've seen one, I've kind of seen them all.
Yeah.
In slightly better or worse variations of the same thing. Mm-hmm. It's going to be a comedy. It's going to have dumb jokes, and everything's going to turn out fine in the end because they can't kill anybody anymore. What am I watching?
Yeah.
The stakes are...
There are none.
Low.
We've talked about that at length, but that's kind of what's going on with the box office drop. Also, a lot of people don't really know who Kang is.
Right.
They also really didn't know who Thanos was either, but
they built him up. They built
big.
Him up. Yeah. They built him up for decades.
Yeah.
Multiple decades? No, I think it was like 13 years.
Yeah. But with Kang is going to be the same thing, but Kang is more confusing to people because Thanos is Thanos. He's the Mad Titan, ...
Yeah.
Kang is, let me pull up the wiki. Oh, here. Oh, look at me. He is Ruma Tut, Kang, Immortius, Scarlet Centurion, Vectus Prime, Nathaniel Richards, Victor Timely, Iron Lad, Chronomaster number 616, Mr. Quang Griffon. I didn't read that last one yet.
Yeah, what came out there?
It's French.
Yeah. But there is a lot of confusion with Kang. I also think Kang's motivation is far more generic. Like one thing that everybody liked about Thanos is that he was
trying to do a good thing the wrong way.
It was tragically relatable.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of like the same people that are like, if half the people on the planet were gone, the environment's getting better. Or it's like, they're not wrong, but you're sacrificing humanity.
Yeah.
Like that's not a moral reason to get rid of half the people.
And Kang's is...
He just wants to rule everything.
Yeah.
He's just stereotypical evil guy.
Do you know anything about Kang?
Not really.
If you delve deeper, it's a much more interesting story, but there's no way you don't get that up top.
Yeah, and Marvel's and Disney's not gonna do it in time.
Thanos is he lost his people. He wants to kill half the people to save them. You're like, oh, okay, that was 2 sentences. Kang's is, and I'm gonna get it wrong, so please message me. He's the son of these 2 people, and then he's really mad, but he's super powerful, and so he gets caught in time, but he goes back in time, and you're like, what the fuck is happening?
Which is way harder to follow. More straightforward villains that have some form of relatability is almost always better.
All the time.
If you think back at some of your favorite villains, I'm sure some of them to a certain degree have an inkling of logic in their flawed reasoning.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, it's like Watchmen. Like,
yeah.
He's united humanity.
Yeah.
Did it in a non-good way.
Yeah.
But it helped. Oh, no.
Right. So I just don't think they're going to be able to do that with Kang. I unfortunately think that Endgame had such a big draw, and it had all the best might not be the right way to say it, because like Moon Knight and some of the new characters,
classic heroes.
Yeah,
classic well-known heroes
that is going to have the broadest appeal are now out the door because they made the statement that after Endgame, it's basically a soft reset. Because who do we have? We have Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
And Ant-Man.
So here's something that I said well-known heroes, but that's not quite right. Iron Man was a tier 3 hero when this started. It was Hulk and Wolverine were the top 2.
Captain America.
He was still, they were 2.
Yeah.
Like 3 and 4, like they were tier 2. Captain America or Iron Man was like 3. But we are now in a culture where people know superheroes in a way they didn't then.
Yeah.
But they still don't know superheroes. They know the people they've been shown. And they're like, well, I like them. I've known them for 12 years. I've known him for 13 years.
Yeah.
Now, whenever you learn a new person, it's not like before when it was a bunch of people going, like 6 people knew who they were. And then a bunch of people going, I don't know, but it looks good.
Yeah.
Now it's like, well, it's not Robert Downey Jr., so.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think they should have gotten rid of their legacy characters. I think the hard reset after Endgame with getting rid of Tony and getting rid of Captain America.
But you kind of have to do it when the actor is like not in it anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like ink and paper can be forever. But Robert Downey Jr., I'm sure was like, listen, I got enough money.
I don't know. I don't know. I think he would have kept doing it. Unless there's a blatant statement by him saying that he was done.
But he could have pushed back, I think. But
Probably.
It also was like the ideal pinnacle growth moment.
Yeah, I think their smartest move would have been to keep them all in very minor roles, right? So if Tony survived, he would show up in the Spider-Man movies, right? To kind of
continue to mentor.
Continue to mentor. Captain America could have been around.
He still technically can.
He still technically can, but they ended Endgame with him being an old man, right?
Yeah.
He could have mentored Bucky and Sam and been a source of reference for them to keep people going, but they're not in it anymore.
Here's my pushback on that. They both already did that, but because they're gone doesn't mean they didn't do that before. They just can't continue to do it.
Right.
And now it's a more tragic thing when you look back on the memory.
But apparently Captain America's on the moon. Right? Did you watch the Winter Soldier series?
No.
You didn't watch Falcon and Winter Soldier? I did.
He's on the moon?
So that was like the ongoing joke is that in season 1, after Sam takes over as Captain America and stuff like that, you overhear 2 soldiers talking. And they're like, yeah, man, I just don't know when Rogers is going to be back because, like, apparently they got him on the moon, or that's the conspiracy theory. The conspiracy. And then, like, they
it's
say
because his old bones.
Yeah. But, like, 2 or 3 more times they bring it up in, like, more detailed ways to where a lot of people think that he's going to make an appearance and be on the moon for some reason.
Hey, I'm on the moon fighting space now. Well, I think there's the space Nazis on the dark side of the moon.
Yeah.
So,
of course.
He's up there. He's just up there kicking Nazi ass.
Yeah, so there's legacy watchers that are carrying through with watching the pre-Endgame people, but no one's tuning in to the new stuff.
Yeah.
Like even the stuff that they're catering specifically for kids, I can't remember what the TV series was. Miss
Marvel.
Yeah, Miss Marvel.
Yeah.
I think it's one of the lowest watched things that Marvel has. So even their new audiences and the kids that they're advertising to as Disney aren't latching on to Marvel. They're latching on to more of the animated and the stuff that Disney's been doing for a longer time. So it's kind of just puttering out with legacy people kind of falling off with every new movie.
Yeah. Which I think that's going to continue to happen. So I don't think Ant-Man's going to be the worst drop-off in history. I think it's going to be a continued drop-off.
No, I would assume the biggest drop-off is after the Kang. Like, they're going to maintain a certain amount of people until the next Endgame situation.
Until after Kang the Conquerors.
And then it might just be in their best interest to just kind of...
I can see that happening.
Yeah.
Or, like, so I think they goofed by going too big. Anyways, we said we're going to keep this rapid fire. We're going to keep this moving right along. All right, we got new Teenage Ninja Turtles movie.
Yep. With a ton of wild actors in it.
Dude, it's great. I am excited. Let me pull this up so I don't miss anybody. Let's see. All right, so we got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Turtle Mutant Mayhem, which that's a lot of those same words a lot of times.
It is. And it's an animated movie, I believe.
Animated movie.
Yep.
A lot of people doing voices, and it's produced by Seth Rogen, Evan Goldberg, and James Weaver. I think Seth and Evan are the people that did like Preacher and The Boys.
I believe so as well.
But here we go. This is the cast of the voices starring Nicholas Cantu, Micah Abbey, Shaman Brown Jr., Bradley Noon, Jackie Chan, Ayo Ebadify. Sorry.
You couldn't even get the name out.
I couldn't. It's Ayo Edebiri.
Okay.
Ayo Edebiri. Ice Cube, Seth Rogen, John Cena, Hannibal Buress, Rosie Byrne, Post Malone, Paul Rudd, Maya Rudolph, Natasha Denham-Baturo.
It gets wild fast.
Yeah. Well,
it's a hard turn at Ice Cube, and you're like, whoa. And then it's like Paul Rudd, and just keep going.
And Giancarlo Esposito, which...
It's crazy.
Yeah. The amount of talent in this movie is insane.
It's insane.
And like, so
because we thought it was a TV series.
Yeah.
And then it ended up being a movie. I don't know if this is going to be successful with that cast, but it's animated.
So, hang on. So let's just go through the cast real quick. Just some people are doing really good stuff. Hannibal Buress is Genghis Frog, which I don't even know who that is.
Yeah, I don't either.
I love it. All the turtles are like, all the big names are like weird villains. So I'm assuming they just like, maybe like there's one scene, they're just walking by into the jail and they're all like, hey, hi, hello.
Yeah. Just a rapid fire of just big names.
Rocksteady's just shaking his hand in front of his face because it's John Cena.
Yeah, I cannot stand it.
I know we all know. But then we got Post Malone is playing somebody. Like, it's crazy. The only one that I'm like, of the original cast of like the Turtles was like, I read the list and then I read who they're playing. I was like, Jackie Chan, Splinter.
Yeah.
Which he's now that old. He's now Splinter age.
I don't like that.
Getting old. Yeah. Seth Rogen is Bebop. John Cena is Rocksteady. Oh God. Who is Ice Cube? That's one. Ice Cube is playing Superfly.
Yeah. Who else would he play?
He's just like, I'm a bug. I do love how Ice Cube has gone from taking it like from very, very gangster rap. He's in that group I can't say the name of.
Yep.
To like being the voice of B-Max on Borderlands 3 and Superfly.
Yeah. Yeah. And he's like a cop in a show, which is insanity.
Yeah.
My favorite thing, I can't even remember what cop show he's on, but I've seen
Special Victims using it.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
I love the compilations of him making up names for things. He's like, oh, yeah, a new drug on the street called the floppy wops or whatever. And he always knows. And it's always some wild non-existent thing.
Some drug on the street called cardiac Bemoflex.
Yeah, right. It's like, what?
I hope he's in charge of making those up and he's like improving it the whole time.
Oh, that would be excellent.
That way the actors are like, oh, yeah, no, he died of an overdose of Karl Malone's toenail juice.
Yeah.
Really died of that, huh? Okay.
Running out of stuff this time. But So that's the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. We'll keep you updated on that.
Turtle Mutant Mayhem. I wonder if they tried to squeeze any more T's and M's in there.
Yeah, right. Just make it as hard as possible.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Turtle Mutant Ninja Figs.
And then I think the last thing that we were going to talk about is the new Kill the Justice League game.
Yes, it has a name that we will get mad. Like YouTube will get mad at us if we say it. So it's
of course.
Yeah, it's the James Gunn directed a movie called Blank Squad.
Yeah. Long story short, one big red flag has turned into like 50 for this game.
Yeah.
Ever since it
looked good. I got excited for it. I like the concept. I like the idea. I like squad-based solo play games like that.
That was all before gameplay trailers.
Yeah, it was all before gameplay trailers.
As soon as the gameplay trailers came out, it was just flashing red.
The first red flag was when they released a leaked screenshot of the menu. Yeah. And it was like, oh, it's a battle pass. Okay. Yeah. That's not good. And then it leaked into, then they did a reveal where you find out it's a live service game. All the characters are flying around. They look very generic to their own move sets. They all kind of look the same.
All of them have a machine gun. All of them have a single shot weapon of some kind, whether it's like a sniper rifle or a shotgun or something like that. And they all have a unique melee weapon.
But they all also, for some reason, zip around the map.
Yep.
One like Spider-Man, one like a jetpack, one like through teleport. Like, so they're all the same, but with different ways of doing the same thing.
Yeah. So instead of having a jetpack that zips me, I just teleport that distance. Yeah. That's basically the biggest amount of variety you're getting between characters. Or Harley Quinn has
Spider-Man,
a backpack that shoots a grappling hook to swing.
It's to a drone.
It's to a drone.
Yeah.
So the drone's always around, which is convenient.
Yeah, they even copped out on needing like a ceiling.
Gosh.
And then it doesn't like, so the cutscenes looked really good. I was like, oh, that seems fun. Got some humor in it. I like that. Kind of fits the mood. And then we found out it's a live service game, which means you just load in and then you watch a cutscene and then you fight a monster and then you get a cutscene and then you go do it again.
Very Destiny-esque, grindy. Yeah. You could see in the menus when they were putting the characters and character selections, there were the different like colored guns of like the white is the most generic and then green is rare and blue is super rare, whatever. So it's the way that I saw it break down was DC's Destiny.
Yeah.
Was very much how it felt. Even the villains or like the mini bosses just had these purple orbs where you got to shoot them.
Well, you got to shoot purple orbs.
Well, like
purple orbs and weather balloons.
Yeah, and weather balloons. I was kind of extra upset when I saw that because even older games like Destiny, the weak points on bosses were somewhat unique. And integrated.
Yeah.
Like it was the joints on the like crab creature.
The walkers,
thing, that had like the elbow lights on them that looked like a part of
these are just critical spots.
These are just blatantly just big purple circles on a tank or like a weird walker thing in random places.
So from what I'm getting from the story is Brainiac is taking over everything. That's why you got to kill the Justice League.
Yep.
So he's taking everyone over, and that's part of his like monsters have the big orbs, and they take over the tanks, and they take over the
that
whatever.
Still feels like a cop out.
It is, but like it would have been fine if they didn't do that. But it's because they've made it look like all these characters that we know have unique powers and unique stances on things,
and they don't.
And then they don't.
No, it's literally just cosmetics at that point.
Which, I mean, even in Destiny, your character classes are very distinct.
Yeah, and you've got more options. Like if you're a hunter, that doesn't mean you can't use rocket launchers and stuff like that. You're not catered towards it, but your loadout is still unique. This seems like machine gun, single shotgun, melee weapon.
Yep.
That are all carbon copies, just different numbers are going to pop up when you use it.
And when they did say like, hey, we're going to be having more people released later, I was not excited because just a different look.
You know what they're going to have?
Calendar Man.
They're going to have
with a shotgun and a machine gun.
Yep. But it will be cool to see what characters they include for the sake of who you can play as.
I want to know who you take out.
Yeah, because right now from the trailers, we've seen Wonder Woman.
Well, she was fine.
Superman.
So the people taking over Superman, Batman, Flash,
Wonder Woman wasn't taken over?
Because I watched the trailer where that's how you find out, because she lassos the Flash, and the Flash is like, you gotta kill us. It's the only way. And then I'm going to assume she immediately gets taken over soon.
Probably, yeah. So those are the only 4 heroes that we've seen so far. So I'm curious who else. Green Lantern.
Oh, I did see a Green Lantern, yeah.
But all the red flags point to generic gameplay, probably going to be fun for a couple hours with your friends. Mm-hmm. And then as soon as you get through the 5 missions that are going to launch with this game, keep replaying them and getting those cosmetics.
And so... Maybe what we've seen is that is the first mission. You know what I mean? And then you level up and you get abilities and you get changes and you know what I mean? But I don't see it happening that way.
Hopefully. The green flags are that they did say that future content will be released when it comes to missions and stuff that will not cost the player, which is leaning into the live service thing. They're going to have a new strike or they're going to have a new whatever.
Yeah.
And all DLC or all downloadable content is going to be cosmetic only.
Yes.
That's nice. You got to have a good game to back it up though.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was our not so rapid fire section.
Yeah. We'll pile it on. Nerd pile.
Anything else you want to chat about?
We do. If you guys listen to this day of or Thursday, we are in Louisville doing Monster at Planet of the Tapes on the 7th.
That's our live play D&D show.
We do that. We do a bunch of those now. So check out the website.
And we're doing what we can to get them on video to put on our Patreon.
We are doing that. We have video.
And stay tuned for future content, wink, that might be in the same vein. We're still working out the details.
We're also doing that.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing a lot.
We are doing a lot. So stay tuned. Thanks for sticking with us. Mm-hmm. Sorry again for the 2-week gap, but we are back and better than ever. We'll catch you next time.
Bye. Thank you so much for checking out Nerd News. We don't have advertising, so you are the advertising. Now, if you liked it, go ahead and tell a friend, comment, share, subscribe, or even leave a review on Apple. Every little bit helps. It's insane. You guys have no idea how much your support means to us. And if you want to do a little bit more, we have launched our Patreon. So if you would support us financially, go check out our Patreon. All our content is free, but we do have rewards at every tier. So I just want to say thank you all again, and we'll see you next time.